friends, give it up for Mr. Christopher Anthony!
Wow, thank you. Reminding me how short I am. Just addressing it real quick. I'm not gay. I'm from Miami. We all look like this. I've lived in New Orleans for 8 years, but according to Miami rules, you have to dress as though you could possibly go to a job interview, bachelor party, or nightclub, because you don't know if you leave your house when you're going to come back home. Wonderful. I have some questions actually that I brought that maybe you guys could help me out with. They're all funny, but I've been wondering all of this. First and foremost, maybe you could tell me, why is it that people with bad breath love to tell secrets? What? No, come here. I don't want them to hear. You're peeling the makeup off of my face. I'm good, thank you. Why is everyone giving you covert information, but no one's offering a breath mint? Get the fuck away from me. Second, they've been putting up these billboards to promote literacy. The billboards just say, learn to read. Who are those billboards for? Because the libraries are suffering, so they're like, hey, you guys should use the library. But like, either you know what the billboard says and you don't need it, or you don't know what that billboard says and everyone in the car is self-conscious. You know what I mean? Like, I had 2 kids with you? Are you serious? No wonder you made me fill out the paperwork. This is ridiculous. I have wondered, why do they call it a nursing home when all of those people are way too old to breastfeed? I mean, if you're into powdered milk, maybe, but... Thank you. Why are there fortune cookies, but there are never misfortune cookies? You're giving me a bunch of information that's useless. I want to crack open one of those things and it's like, it's not your kid. Be like, what? Ancient Chinese wisdom, thank you. And then, huh? I know, yeah. It actually originated in like San Francisco. Yeah. Awesome. She Googled that earlier and she's just waiting up for the opportunity to say it. Love those people. I watched the documentary earlier and now I'm going to insert it into every conversation. I'm kidding. Thank you. We all grow up with people telling us nothing is impossible. That's ridiculous. Why do we keep telling that to kids? My neighbors do nothing all day. Very possible. Okay, way too close to home. That's good.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
I thought the self-checkout aisle, I got confused. I just found myself in the dressing room. This is smart. Is it late for you guys? Self-checkout. All right. I believe in you guys. I believe in you. I don't care what they say about Florida education. I believe in all of you. And I think that they should put sex ed back in schools because otherwise, the only way teachers can talk about sex ed is if they just keep fucking their students. It's pretty popular out here, right? Anyway, moving along. I feel like that's just really promotion for like PTA meetings. Like, dads, you should come out to the PTA because you have no idea how desperate these hot teachers are. Talk to them about your kid, about Friday night plans, whatever you want. Okay. Too close to home. Here we go. Is it possible, I'm just curious, is it possible that gaslighting isn't a real term? You know what I mean? Maybe they've just been making it up this whole time? All right, smart humor. Gaslighting is where you convince people that something doesn't exist. All right, we're moving along. Here we go. Why is it that a group of guys, one guy can say, you know what, guys, I'm really attracted to big girls, and everyone cheers him on and thinks he's super awesome, right? But then if another guy is like, I'm really attracted to little girls, no one talks to him anymore. Yeah. Right? He didn't say young, he didn't say underage. Just he's a short guy and he's into short girls. That happened to me, you guys. I'm only 5'7", and anyway. I'm not trying to date a girl who's 6'3", because I'm not going to carry a step stool to every fucking date. That's ridiculous. Be like, you want to make out? Just give me 1 second. I just want to, hold on. I just texted you. Could you come down a little bit, like a foot, maybe? All right. Sweet. Do they call them Lifetime movies because that's how long they feel when your grandmother makes you watch them with her on Sunday?
Yeah.
Also, dear Lifetime, how many movies can you come up with where the man is just inherently evil? It's just...
Tonight at 7, starring Judith Light or Yasmin Bleeth or someone else you thought for sure already died. On Lifetime television for scared women.
Okay, I just don't really understand it. Speaking of abusive men, why do they call that tank top a wife beater? That's ridiculous. Most of those guys aren't dumb enough to get married. You know what I mean? That's a lot of paperwork. All right. So is a restraining order. They can only fill out one. Another question for you guys. If you're really going out of business, does it make sense to spend money on all those signs? Seems like a lot of signs.
Yeah.
Seems like frivolous business practices is what got you there in the first place. You guys will laugh on the car ride home about all of this. Why is it that most thugs with tattoos that say only God can judge me have been to court at least 4 times? It's like, is it only God? Because you're out on parole, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't God holding a gavel, so you have been judged by other people. Also, stay away. We said 300 feet. We said 300 feet. Back up. All right. Is it possible that Jesus was the first cross-dresser? I'm just I mean, it was pretty boring without him on it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, no one's going to decorate their living room with this. You have like a hot guy with like abs and like shoulder-length hair, that's going to sell. That's going to sell really big, really popular with the grandmas. All right. Thank you. I don't understand, maybe you guys can help me understand, why do so many men propose on Valentine's Day? Like, I don't really get that. If you're going to propose on a holiday, the best holiday for proposals already exists. April 1st, you know what I mean? You go down there, she's like, no. You're like, I was tying my shoe anyway. I mean, of course it's too soon. Been supporting you for 2.5 years. Why would I do that? That's ridiculous. Why would you be unemployed for that long? You're living off of me. Why did you make me get along with your aunt? You know she's racist. Anyway, April Fools, I was just kidding about everything. How do I get your name off the lease? Yeah, I don't really get that. Another question, there's a few people here. Why do we assume people who wear glasses are smart?
Because we are.
That's like assuming people on crutches are good athletes. Like, being visually disabled doesn't make you amazing at algebra. It's like, can you help me with this? I have no idea what the fuck that paper says, honestly. Just give me a second. At AA, they give you different colored chips depending on how long you've gone without drinking. What do they give at Gamblers Anonymous? I think they just give you like tiny alcohol bottles because they're like, you can't get rid of a habit, you can just replace it. You can just replace it. But at least this, you can be around your family instead of stuck in a casino where they're too young to see you. All right, good. Speaking of drinking, why do they call it happy hour? If you need a drink within 20 minutes of getting out of work, how happy can you possibly be? You know, like, are these jokes too real for you guys? Is this an AA meeting right now? Because it's a horrible place for it. I don't care where you are in your rehabilitation. This is too much temptation. All right. Do you think the boomerang was invented by a kid whose dad would never play catch with him? He said he'd be home at 6. All right. You'll think about all these jokes later. Is it true? If the same medication that helps with social anxiety also causes diarrhea, what's the point? It's like, it's just so great to get out of the house and finally talk to people. This takes a lot of courage for me. But if you could just excuse me for a moment, I just need to vomit out of my asshole for like 20 minutes. Are you guys still going to be here? It's so weird that I would even say that, be that vulnerable. I think it's this medication. If you'll excuse me, I'm just squirting a little bit, but I want to engage with you. I don't understand it. Why do we say things like slept like a baby? How'd you sleep? Oh, I slept like a baby. So you woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning crying covered in shit? because this Airbnb is in my name, and I have to pay for that. So if you could just tell me, and we could clean this. It's $260 I need. All right. What's going to happen is your friends are going to use these phrases, and you're going to start giggling like a madman, and they're not going to understand why. You'll be like, because Christopher Anthony's a fucking genius. That's why. Thank you. I don't know how old you guys are, but I grew up watching Sesame Street, and I think it's kind of a scam. Do you guys realize they actually never tell you how to get to Sesame Street? Sunny days, sweeping the clouds away. Where the fuck is Sesame Street?
It's on the way to where the air is sweet.
9 movies specifically telling you where Elm Street is and it can travel, but not once in any of those letter-sponsored fucking episodes. Also, if I knew a letter could fund an entire business, I would have started selling E way longer. Anyway, you guys like drug jokes, let's do that. You guys ever use Google Maps to get to a business and then afterwards it asks you to review that business? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Alright. How come it never does that? I've used Google Maps to find girls I was meeting up with. It's never how was Stacy's house? Here are some previous reviews from some other people. Oh my god, does she sell vacuums? Because she sucks like a fucking Hoover. Wow, that's okay. 4 stars on that one. Okay. I have a few questions just for the ladies. Just us. Let's go. I have long hair and I pee sitting down. I half qualify. Anyway, ladies, why do so many ladies like guys with new cars? I don't. Let's go through this for a second. Okay, he had an older car that started to make noises and bother him. And he sat there and thought to himself, I can fix what I know is broken for the longevity of this relationship, or I could trade this piece of shit in for something smaller, prettier, and younger that I'm more comfortable bringing to my high school reunion.
Oh.
This is a poetry portion of the meeting. I feel these are too deep, and now
So wrong.
some of you guys are going to call your exes and be like, you know what? I understand now. I didn't put it together before, but I should have known. 2021 Corvette. I knew it was going to last less than 6 months. Anyway. Ladies, what's the obsession with tall guys? We get it earlier in the set. I'm short. I'm bitter. Let's get that over with. But what is the obsession with tall guys? It's I became accustomed to a certain way of life. When I was 7 years old and I'd walk around with my dad, I liked doing this the whole time, just locking my arm in place and wandering like this everywhere I go. Let's just work it out for a second. Logistically, during sex, okay? When you're both horizontal and height is meaningless, except, anyway. You're stuck dodging nipple hair and armpit hair and moving along and just being is this good for you? Are you feeling this? Could you just call me or something to let me know? He's up there betting on a football game, finishing up work emails, you know what I mean? A foot and a half is a long distance relationship at that point. I don't get it. Also, what's this obsession with body count? You guys hearing all this? It's ridiculous. Body count? As far as I'm concerned, as long as she's fun, pretty, and ambitious, I don't care. I do not care how many men she's killed. What does it matter to me? I'm not trying to dig up her past. Let's just bury that as it was, you know what I'm saying? I want a chick who's ride or die, preferably just the ride part, but I don't get this obsession with body count. That's ridiculous. All right, so jokes about drugs, sex, and death. Winning. Jokes for people who got more than 1,100 on the SATs.
Not so much.
Sweet. Penis, vagina. Anyway, statistics are kind of ridiculous. There was a statistic recently that said 36% of men suffer from not having enough sexual endurance, premature ejaculation, okay? 36% of men. First of all, who the fuck are they? Who's they? Okay? My hairdresser identifies as they, maybe it was them, I don't know. Anyway, second of all, where are they getting these statistics? Are you just like, sweaty, laying down, someone kicks in your bedroom door with a fucking clipboard? Like, does it usually take about that long? I had 7.5 minutes from insertion. We'll go for 8 minutes. Also, while I'm here, how happy are you with your current car insurance? Okay. Current dentist. If you could just cooperate, maybe I walk away and say it was 11 minutes. I've got bullshit statistics to come up with, and you look like very rested and calm. I mean, what else are you doing? Nothing for the next 3 hours, according to statistics. Anyway, I don't understand it, and I just want to say, maybe not 36% of men suffer from having poor stamina. Maybe 64% of men, that equals 100. Maybe 64% of men just had a mom who could tell from doing laundry that her kid needed a little bit more time in the bathroom to hang out with a special friend. You know what I mean? Maybe 64% of people didn't have siblings they had to share a bedroom or a bathroom with. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe 64% of people didn't have a mom that was constantly hovering over them, making it difficult. So they had to learn how to come within 4 minutes. That's how long it took for her to prepare. Some men, not me. Not me. No, my mom worked 2 jobs, never home. I can last 20, 30 minutes easy. Longer than the date, usually. Ladies, just us again, quick question. This whole, sex talk, why is it that when we're having sex, ladies love to say, deeper, deeper, deeper? It's a dick, not the Star Wars franchise. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, did you think you saw all the dick? There's a ton of dick left over here on my nightstand. Most girls don't even ask for it. There's actually a tattoo halfway down my dick that says to be continued. Most women don't even notice. Mostly because they like really dim lighting. They never read the words. Oh, did you want more dick? Great. I would never have sex with a girl and say, shallower, shallower. I want to hit a wall. Does it ever end? How many kids have you had? I would never do that. That's rude. Ladies, if that bothered you, it bothers us, okay? What do you think you're holding down there? Anyway. Sex talk is weird. What you say isn't what we hear. I had a bad situation. I was laying in bed with my lady. My lady, in case you guys are still confused. My lady. Anyway, so we're laying there, and mostly her. Anyway. And she says to me, she whispers, first of all, why are you whispering? Am I on camera? What's going on here? It's a bedroom, not a library. Speak up. She whispers to me, she says, I want you to make me feel violated. All right. So I did what I thought any man would do in that situation. I tied her hands to the headboard. Okay, I tied her feet to the footboard. I put a gag in her mouth, and then I looked at her cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
She was all like, I felt very successful. Afterward, we had a discussion. Turns out, she was thinking something else entirely. But it didn't matter at that point because I realized our relationship was over. Who the fuck is Greg? She was in some 50 Shades of Grey kind of thing. Can I just be honest? I thought 50 Shades of Grey was porn for the elderly. Does it make sense? 50 Shades of Grey. And every time that movie would come out, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all I would see is just everyone's grandmother coming out of that theater being like, Grandma, I think you spilled soda on your lap. Like, that's not soda, but it's a good movie. It's It's a good movie. Can't wait for the next one. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.